As you all know, scientists have always tried to identify life signatures in the cosmos so that they can find a planet where there is proof of life's existence. For this, many projects have received funding of millions of dollars. But recently, such a team proved to be successful, which has identified the life signature on more than 600,000 planets in the universe. So do all these planets contain life? And if so, then which planet is the closest to them? Well, in today's video, we are going to talk about it. So hello guys, let's start another new episode. Look, is there life in any planetary object or not? It is possible to identify it by looking at and analyzing only two types of signatures. One is the biosignatures of this planet and the other is the technosignatures of that place or planetary body. So look, biosignatures and technosignatures are both very easy and self-explanatory terms. Biosignatures are basically all those compounds, elements, molecules, and isotopes whose presence or their ratio acts as evidence of life existence on a planet. Now, for example, if there are more than average compounds or atmospheric gases on a planet, which are created through the metabolic or aqueous process of life form, like carbon dioxide, methane, etc., then there are very strong chances that on that planet, either in the present or in the past, a life form must have been in existence. And even if it is not, it can certainly grow in the future. However, the universe is infinite. Any compound can be found anywhere without a doubt, which is why the existence of biosignatures is not so reliable. And to tackle this reliability, scientists are now looking for new life signatures, which is named as technosignatures. Technosignatures are basically highly energized waves or signals that are more likely to be created artificially by some species. For example, so many communication devices are used on our Earth. So many signals are sent towards the satellites and a lot of data is transmitted. In such a situation, this data is obviously transmitted from the Earth to the satellites not through wires, but through radio frequencies. Now mostly, this data is received by those satellites, but once in a while, it also happens when these signals do not reach the satellite properly, leading to leaking of these waves. Now, the way our satellite receives and interprets this data, in the same way, if a very powerful radio telescope is pointed to the Earth from many light years away, then not only that clear data, but by detecting these radio signals, we will be able to identify that they have been artificially emitted. Now, the way it is possible to detect this data through aliens, in the same way, we humans can also detect its technosignatures by focusing on a planet. Because of which, many scientists now look at their past and ongoing data from this perspective, so that they can find a planet that emits such technosignatures. And luckily, we found some too. With the hope of finding these technosignatures, some financial institutions have saved money and invested $100 million, the largest so far, and probably the best on the paper alien life search project, known as Breakthrough Listen. So see, this project uses some of the strongest radio telescopes on Earth, like the Green Bank Radio Telescope in the US and the Parkes Telescope in Australia. And then by scanning the 1 million star system in about 100 galaxies from those telescopes, it extracts the technosignatures there. Now, if you think that this is also like a normal project of humanity, then you are absolutely wrong. See, its potential and strength is so great that if any aircraft radar system is transmitting even a small signal in the nearby 1,000 stars, then it will recognize it easily. Now, if you still don't understand, then I'll give you an astonishing example. See, this system is so powerful that in case, if in the range of 25 trillion miles from Earth, i.e. 40.2 trillion kilometers, even a 100-watt bulb burns, even then, this system will detect it and take out its readings and pinpoint its exact planetary location. Because of this, it has become the most advanced and effective radio telescope system so far in the matter of technosignatures. Although you may find these big figures to be very good, but from the point of view of the universe, this distance is nothing. That's why scientists have set a constraint for this research. And that is, if the maximum range of this telescope network is noticed to be up to 10,000 zeta watts, then only it will be considered and detected. Now obviously, the more the object passes, the less this limit will be. Now after all, even if we try to detect the signal of so many zetawatts, we will not get anything. But what they ignore here is that this figure of 10,000 zetawatts will not be kept randomly, but there is a reason behind it. In fact, this power emission is equivalent to the power consumption of a Dyson sphere, which can only be created by a Type 2 civilization. If you want to tell in short, then the Dyson sphere is a mega structure made around a star, which harnesses all the energy released by it and transmits it to the habitable planet. And since the energy of a Dyson sphere has such a capability that it can transmit a signal from billions of light years away to the Earth, that's why this value was chosen. Now, this research was officially started in January 2016, and it has been planned to run for 10 years. That is, it will remain active until 2026. And thankfully, the team currently working on the Breakthrough Edition project in December 2013 has published one of its first reports in the form of a research paper, the result of which surprised the whole world. Now, when so much data was gathered for this program, then this whole data was passed through the powerful algorithms of Turbo SETI, in which it was found that in different frequencies, a total of 6,034,313 signals of the universe were hit by radio telescopes, which were not only touching the detectable bandwidth, but also showing signs of technosignatures. Now, if more than 6 million ratings were studied manually, then what would be one? For which this data was also trained on radio disturbances and interference, and then the generated trained algorithm was iterated in these 6 million detected radio signals so that those signals could be filtered out which were created due to radio interference. Now, after filtering out through the algorithm, only 1,519 such events were made, which according to the algorithm could be technosignatures. Now, 1,519 is comparatively a very small number, due to which Carmen Choza and his team started studying these signals one by one so that their credibility can be tested and it can be found out whether any of these 1,519 signals are really sending signals or planet-legit technosignatures. But we were also heartbroken with Choza because none of these radio signals were actually technosignatures. In fact, most of them were either the result of normal flow or the result of some radio interference, which must have been created by a satellite present on the Earth's orbit. Now, this research was innovative and promising in many ways. But along with this, it raised a very big issue in front of us. And that is how the increasing number of satellites in the orbit of the Earth is destroying the field of space science. There was a time when a radio signal was put in the ears of scientists. But today, getting more than 600,000 radio interference tells us how much these satellites are limiting our viewpoints, and in many cases, and how much it is stopping new discoveries. Now, the concerns of astrophysicists about Starlink were not less. And now this study is proof that they were absolutely right about this concern. And look, it has a lot of chances that some ultra-rare signal is reaching us only because of this. Because now so much radio interference has been created in the orbit. However, some people also say that we do not have any literal data of technosignatures on which we can train computer models. Rather, we artificially simulate and create that data. Because of which, it is possible that in those 6 million readings, some frequencies will really be of technosignatures. But because our model was not trained on accurate and real data, that is why it must have filtered those true technosignatures as interference. And a big chunk of evidence must have been skipped from us. Now, what is your opinion on this whole matter? Do aliens really live somewhere? And if they do they send us signals? Tell us in the comment section below. If you liked the video, then like it and share it with your friends. Now, if you want to see more interesting videos like this on this channel, then subscribe to this channel. I will meet you with the next episode. Till then, bye.